Today we're shifting our focus to our upper body, specifically how we push, how we pull, and how we hold ourselves with control. This lesson, I'm going to break down for you the basics of upper body movement so that you can train harder, avoid common mistakes, and feel stronger in your body. Most important thing that I want you to understand about any lifting or movement pattern is how to brace your core. Bracing your core isn't about flexing your abs. You all have a six-pack. For some of us, we can see it easily, and others, it's buried under a couple layers of fat. That's okay. Bracing your core is about increasing the internal pressure 360 degrees using your obliques, your back, and your front abdominal walls. Your core acts as a support beam for everything that you do in the gym. I understand and recognize that some of us can't feel our core truly being engaged. Specifically, if you've had a C-section or have abdominal diastasis, which is the separation of your abdominal wall left and right sides. So before I show you my secret gadget, I want you to practice bracing your core. Remember, I said this is not about flexing. Now imagine someone is about to punch you in the gut. Would you flex and let your stomach hang low? Or would you brace? How do you brace? Maybe that's your natural reaction. But one unorthodox example that I can give you, in addition to being hit in the gut, is imagine you're sitting on your porcelain throne and you're constipated. So you gather all this pressure in your abdominal region to push out a bowel movement. That's the one. This internal pressure here, before you engage anything below the pelvic floor, keep that tension up here. That's what we're aiming for. That's what a brace feels like. Now my secret weapon. You should invest in a weighted lift belt. I like the ones that have the lever. There are some that have a traditional buckle style, but I like the lever because I can tighten and loosen it at just the flick of a thumb, and it stays on. With the others that are belt style, there's a lot of manual manipulation. As someone who suffers from lower back pain and sciatica, lifesaver. It doesn't always prevent back strain, but it can significantly lessen how often that may occur, or if you have no back pain at all, it's something you might want to invest to protect, especially as you age. This belt is essentially a pressurizing device, providing me 360 degrees of protection. So when I am deadlifting, my lower back is protected, it's maintained in its flat position here. And when I'm using weight to overhead press, I am not put in a compromising position where I can overextend my lower back, flare open my ribs, lifting heavy weight overhead. Now, I will not confidently say that you can wear this type of device for every single workout and every movement. Absolutely not. Sometimes it's not always beneficial, sometimes we get in the way, and just personal preferences with something being constricting on you. When I loosen this, I have more room. I can slide nearly my whole hand down the band, so it allows me room to breathe and feel free. Now, when I'm bracing for certain movements, I do still feel some of that protected abdominal pressure, because as you saw. So to recap how we're bracing our core For overhead movements, breathing from our diaphragm, not our chest. We're going to brace like someone's going to punch us in the gut, or we're internalizing that pressure to pass a bowel movement. Let me take this off for a moment. And let's really dive into push movements. What does that mean? Pushing things away from us, either standing or while laying on our back, pushing them up. Let me take this off. These exercises primarily target your chest, your shoulders, your triceps, and your core as the stabilizer. To properly perform a push movement, alignment of your joints is necessary, meaning your shoulder, your elbow, and your wrist should all be in line. Two, they're stacked, like a strong base, a strong column. Push-up movements also require scapular or shoulder blade stability. The quickest way to know if your shoulder blades or your scapula is engaged is to roll your shoulders up to your ears and then back down. If I'm just naturally standing, I kind of have a rounded posture. I have a sedentary work, I sit at the computer a lot, so my shoulders round forward, creating this hollow chest in some of us. And then we have this really soft, rounded back shoulder. You need to do more pulling movement. But we're talking about pushing right now. So this is my natural standing posture. If I am to now engage my scapula, I will shrug my shoulders up to my ears, roll my shoulders back, and I can feel my shoulder blades pretty much touch. And now all of this area here in my back where my bra line meets, I can feel the tension that I have just created there. See, I'm here, I'm standing normally. I'm now going to engage my scapula by rounding my shoulders up to my ear and then rolling my shoulders back. That's an engaged back. Now we're ready to do pushing movements and pulling. And a good push movement ends with full extension of the arm, but never locking out the elbow. If you lock out your elbow or you walk out your knee, which is your lower extremity equivalent, you can be at risk to hyperextending that joint. The muscle is no longer engaged. All of the weight is now being compacted into that joint. So never lock it. Always keep a soft elbow. Always keep soft bent knees when performing lifting movements. Ladies, please do not underestimate the importance and the significant benefits of doing push-ups. I don't know why we shy away from it. The chest, the pectoral muscle, is so important to women's health daily, because if you were to actually engage your pectoral muscle, you'll have a natural breast lift. The chest push-ups actually fill in the gap where weight is absent. Let me show you my favorite style of push-ups. Always going to encourage you to do traditional push-ups. There's no such thing as a girl push-up. There's only modifications. So now this is your regressive push-up flow. Number one, you're going to start out doing traditional push-ups for as many as you can. When you can no longer go in this position, you will simply lower your knee and continue the movement. When you cannot go here, when you can no longer bear the pain here, move your knees under your hips and continue your push-up movement. In this position, you are heavily engaging the front of your shoulder cap and your triceps. Listen. Every movement counts, even if it's a half rep, if you can only go down 1 inch. It all counts for something. Push-ups are one of the quickest, easiest exercises to rapidly gain strength. And the second you stop doing it, you'll lose it all. There is no substitution for getting better at push-ups except doing push-ups. Now, if you're having wrist pain, that can be because when your fingers are pointing forward, your wrist has a finite range of motion here. You can only go so far before your palm starts to lift up off the ground. So then I would suggest rotating your hands outward at a little bit less than 45, a little more than 45 degrees. You'll see this nice 90-degree angle between your thumb and your index finger. There, if you place your hand on the ground, you can see that your wrist actually flows into this open space here. That can alleviate some of the tension. Or if you're feeling it like in this carpal area, you can simply grab a pair of your dumbbells and do them fisted on your dumbbell. Easy peasy, right? So since we're on the floor, let's now talk about the chest press, because it is somewhat using the same muscle group, just in a different intensity, one versus the other. With your core fully engaged, meaning you are tilting and rotating your hip up so that your lower back can be smacked on the ground. That's where you want to be for your chest press, okay? We don't want our elbows out at 90 degrees. This is very unstable, especially for new gym goers. You want to lock in your elbows some to be at about 45 degrees. This is perfect enough. You're going to absolutely engage the tricep, but you're going to protect your rotator cuff, your shoulder, your front deltoid. So this is what your 45 degrees looks like. Don't slam your arms on the mat or on the floor, wherever you are. Don't slam your arms down, okay? You want to keep your muscles under tension. So just feel where the ground is and bring it back up. This will really activate your triceps. It doesn't take long for it to start burning. And even though we're on the ground, we're limited by our range of motion because there is a floor beneath us compared to doing this on the bench. And we have a few more inches past our rib cage to press. This is really effective. And I can't emphasize this enough. Please, 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 please master full control of the weight that is doable, that's manageable, before you start to ego lift and move up in weight. Trust me, it's better to perfect your form using a lighter weight than to go heavy and now your hands are wobbling all over the place. You feel shaky, like you're gonna drop the weight on your face. I don't want that for you. If you are brave to progress quickly, be cautious how fast you are moving the weight. Slow and controlled. Actually, this is a good time to show you what your rep pace should be. How fast. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got it? It should always be a 4 count on your eccentric movement when you're going back to your starting A position. If you don't have dumbbells, but you happen to have very long loop bands in any variation of color, you can simply put your palm through each side, wrap this band around your shoulder blades, lay back, and now you have banded dumbbell, you have banded chest press. Okay? Because it's a rubber band, it's going to provide lots of resistance. You might wobble a little bit, but that's okay. It's all working for you in your advantage. You can do a lot with this band. Now let me show you how to do shoulder press standing up. Again, if you have a band, 1 foot through or 2, depending on the thickness, the amount of resistance in the band, you might want to put 2 feet through to make it a little more tough. You're going to come under it a bit so that now your palms are facing up, your elbows are locked into you, and you're going to press above head. Ooh, you saw me shake there? This band is a little strong. This is what it looks like from the side view. Okay? Bam. Notice I'm pressing up, I'm not pressing forward. Up, locked position feels a lot different than forward and away. You can see my elbows are still tracking in front of me at a 45-degree angle, not 90. Got it? And this is what it looks like with weights. Still 45-degree angle. Before I forget, another thing about shoulders. We need to be comfortable with doing our Y's, T's, and W's. This is really going to help develop the full shoulder cap. Remember I said, if you're sedentary, you've got these roundish shoulders, there's no development back here, and we're hunched over at a computer all day. Why? So we've got our T, our Y, and now our W. We're just going to bring our elbows into our ribs, okay? Fist up. Instead of the fist being forward, like we're punching, elbows in, rotate those fists out. Those shoulder blades are squeezed. They're squeezed together like I'm holding a pencil. Then I'm going to hinge forward. Remember hinging from lesson 1? I felt the tension here. I've got my core brace. This is when I might actually want to close my lever on. Okay, here. I'm forward, my core is braced. The elbows, or just the hinge movement, the fists come together, and then they go out like we're flying. The elbows stay intact. If doing that with a dumbbell is too heavy, because of the weight that you have, you can also use a loop band, standing up and getting between both hands the, ooh, that's very good. Maybe loosen up a little bit. And we're pulling this apart. On the shoulders, they're squeezed together, they stay together. Side view. This is tough. You don't want to do it with the longer loop band. You can take your medium strength small loop band, put it around your wrist, and move outward. Keep those elbows into the ribs. This burns. Yes, it does. Okay. What else? Pulling movements involves bringing anything toward the body. So if you're opening a heavy door, you do need core for that, but also some lats, that scapular, that back shoulder, the delt portion here again, and the bicep. Or maybe you're doing some gardening and you're pulling from the flatbed of a truck, or deep in your trunk, you're pulling that bag of dirt toward you, or that storage tote bin. So first, let's talk about the bicep. The bicep is actually one of my favorite muscles on the body, second to the quadricep. The key thing to performing a bicep curl the correct or most efficient way is by locking these elbows into your rib cage. They don't move, they stay here locked into your rib and to your side the whole time. When you extend down and you're curling up, never should the weight come up here to the point where your elbow has now moved from its original place by the rib cage. It's now in open air. The weight is then resting on the top of your shoulder and on top of your chest. We don't want that. Here, I can feel the bicep. It is it's squeezed, okay? It's pumped already. Right here. You can do bicep curl either palm open in kind of a wide position. You can have your palm straight in front of you. These are hitting the same but somewhat different. They call them heads of the bicep. Essentially, most muscles, in the body, I like to say are broken up to compile something like a sandwich, because there are layers. Some have 3, some have 2. For instance, your bicep has 3. Here's the sandwich: outer, middle, inner. Posterior, medial, anterior. Okay? Your lats also have it. You have your upper lat, your mid lat, and then your lower lat, which gets right into your spinal column. In the gym, you have things called a high lat pull. So mostly your hands will be in a palms up, hooking position, and you're pulling the bar down to you. Or your palms might be away on the cable machine, pulling it down this way. You'll then have a neutral grip row machine where you're pulling this way. And then sometimes you'll have a lower lat pull machine and you're bringing the weight to you in this manner. Each of those are functional. Yes, it's all hitting a lat. By doing a lower lat pull does not mean that you're not getting upper lat. You're just getting it in a different proportion, meaning 70, 20, 10, or vice versa. The lat itself makes up 100% of the muscle, both top, middle, and bottom portion of the lat. But if I'm pulling lower lat, that is the majority of the muscle being activated. The upper lat is still part of the contraction. I really hope you found some sound advice in the demonstrations I've given you today, and carry them with you at home and in the gym. These movements aren't just for workouts. They show up every time you reach, lift, and carry. The simplest of things. Stand tall and proud. You have the confidence because you have the tools. You practice with intention, the more in control you will feel. Not just in your body, but in your everyday life. This video helped you feel more connected with your upper body? Let me know in the comments. Please be sure to subscribe so that you never miss a video. Share with a friend who may find this information of value, and like it if it brought you new information. And when you're ready, I'll be right here waiting for you. We'll take all the bits and pieces that we've learned and put them all together. We're gonna start working. The next time I see you, it will be a full body day. We're just getting started, but let's keep building on the momentum that we have. Cheers to being fit for life. Sweat with style, slay with purpose. See you next time.